We're rolling.
All right, so this is Winnie's Roadmap to Success video. When I got here, she was a little excitable, kind of barked at me a little bit at the door, which was one of the primary concerns from the guardian. And what we wanted to do today was just kind of help her kind of let go of feeling like it was her job to protect the home and make sure she decided who was coming in the door or not and who was going by. So for her, because she's right by a sliding glass door, every time she barks out the window at dogs or people walking by, she thinks that she's causing them to keep going and walk by. So to help her with this, we wanted to use a counterconditioning method to help her start receiving treat rewards when she's being nice and calm. The other thing that we can do is use the escalating consequences to move her farther away from that door when she sees the dogs or people walking by. So she starts to realize that, hey, it's not her job to assess that, and they will keep going whether she's barking or not. The next thing that I want to remind the guardian of is that she doesn't have to be on full alert all the time, that this is something that you want to pick a time period where you're saying maybe take 30 minutes and have the blinds open so you can work on this actively with her. And then when you're tired and you're done, and you can go ahead and close the blinds so that way you can still have a relaxing evening and you don't feel like you're just on dog training alert at all time periods. So that's a way to kind of help make sure this is a positive process and that you're able to actively work with her without it completely consuming all of your time while you're at home. Over time, as she gets better at this and gaining self-control, you're going to be able to leave the blinds open more and more because she's going to gain that self-control on her own to recognize that she doesn't need to bark and that that's actually up to you and that you're the leader and she's looking to you for direction and following you. The next thing I want to mention is when we're outside with dogs and people, she's doing a great job at using the counter-conditioning method and asking her to sit and kind of back up if she sees people and giving her treats for being nice and calm. But she's too reactive when she sees other dogs. So what we want to do there is just have her back up to a point where she can stand there calmly without the leash being taut on her body. So make sure that the leash is nice and loose. So that way we can help her start to relax when she sees other dogs, but she's too excitable to take treats. And since we're in kind of an unpredictable environment, we want to make sure that she can back up enough to gain that kind of self-control and relax. Over time, Winnie, come here, over time, good girl, come, good girl. Over time, she'll be able to be closer and closer to the to dogs that are kind of going by without needing to back up as far. Remember, one of the first things you're going to see for progress is her just getting to the point where she kind of pauses before she tries to bark. Still back her up a little bit, or at that point, maybe start giving her treats for being nice and calm. And then the overall progress will be working on just getting her to not bark and kind of ignore the dogs and getting to a point where she can go on walks and be nice and calm without, well, dogs and other people are walking by. I want to remind you to make sure to incorporate the rules of no furniture for a minimum of 30 days or and then using furniture only with permission. So that's a rule. Make sure that she's not going through the doors without sitting first, and then you can walk through them first. Those are just going to help her gain self-control again and add a little more structure in place so she looks to you for leadership and direction. Remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.